Alright, so in this video I'm going to go through the Chapter 4 review. The first section wants me to solve the following systems by graphing, and I need to show my graphs in order to receive full credit on my test. So I'm going to graph my first line in blue. I'm going to go up 3 because of the number at the end. Then this negative 5/3, remember my slope is rise over run. So I'm going to go down 5, right 3. And put my second dot. Then I want to go ahead and connect my dots. Then I'm going to go ahead and graph my second line. This one, I'm going to start at negative 3 and put a dot on my y-axis. My slope is 1/3, so I'm going to go up 1 over 3. And I want to draw where these two lines are crossing at. 2 points are crossing. And then I want to say my final answer is where the two lines touch, which is 3, negative 2. Remember, my answer for everything on here is going to be in the form x comma y. So you always write your x value first. Same thing for number 2. I'm going to start off at 3 for my top equation. I can't go up 4 squares, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down 4 squares and left 1. When I have to go down, I always do opposite for both directions. So I'm going to go ahead and connect these 2 points. Bottom one is negative x minus 2, so I'm going to start at negative 2. I'm going to go down 1 square, right 1, and then I want to connect my points. These ones are crossing at negative 1, negative 1. Next one, I want to start at 2. I'm going to go down 2 squares over 1. Remember, when it's a whole number, it's a fraction over 1. Then I'm going to do the same thing for my bottom one. I'm going to start at negative 2. I'm going to go down 2 over 1. These ones are parallel. They're never going to touch. This one is no solution. I'm going to graph this first one. I'm going to go up 4. I can't go up 2, so I'm going to go down 2, left 1. I'm going to go ahead and connect this. On my second equation, I want to go ahead and get this equal to y first. So I'm going to start off by subtracting 4x on both sides. I have negative 2y equals negative 4x minus 8. I want to go ahead and divide everything by negative 2 to get my y all alone. So that is going to give me y equals 2x plus 4, which notice is the same line I just graphed. So this one is going to be infinitely many solutions when it's the same line. My next group wants me to solve by using substitution. I need to use substitution again to receive full credit on my test. So, substitution is where I'm going to replace this y with the negative 2x plus 9. So I have 5x minus 2, that's from my second equation. And then instead of y, I'm going to write negative 2x plus 9, and this is going to equal 18. So then I want to go ahead and solve. I have 5x. I want to distribute. Negative 2 times negative 2x is positive 4x. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18 equals 18. I want to combine like terms. 5 plus 4 is 9. Still have the minus 18, and it still equals 18. I want to add 18 to both sides. I get 9x equals 36. Then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 9. I get x equals 4. Then I want to plug into an equation. I can pick which one I want to do. I'm going to pick the top one because then I don't have to solve for y. So I'm going to have y equals negative 2. Instead of x, I'm going to plug in 4. And then plus 9. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Oops. Plus 9, and then negative 8 plus 9 is 1. So I write my answer as a coordinate point. It's 4, 1. Same thing with this one. I'm going to go ahead and plug in for that y over here. I'm going to try to separate my problems. So I have negative 3x plus 3, and then instead of that y, I'm going to write x plus 3. This one equals 4. So I have negative 3x. I want to distribute my 3. Plus 3x plus 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Equals 4. Negative 3x plus 3x cancels out. So I have 9 equals 4. This one is going to be not true. So I write no solution. So on y, because they both equal, on 7, because they both equal y, I want to set them equal to each other. I'm going to plug this in for that y. So I have 4x plus 6 equals negative 5x minus 21. Then I want to get all of my x's over to the same side, so I'm going to add 5x to both sides. I get 9x plus 6 equals negative 21. I want to subtract 6 on both sides. 9x equals negative 27. Divide by 9 on both sides. X equals negative 3. I can plug into either equation. I'm going to pick the top one. You could pick the bottom one and it'd still work out the same. So I have y equals 4 times negative 3 plus 6. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. So my answer here is going to go x comma y. It's negative 3 comma 6. Over here, this one is solved for x, so I'm going to plug in for my x. So I'm going to do negative 3, and then instead of x, I'm going to have negative 3y plus 1. And then minus 3y equals negative 15. I'm going to distribute that negative 3. I have 9y minus 3 minus 3y equals negative 15. Then I want to go ahead and combine like terms. That's going to give me 6y minus 3 equals negative 15. I'm going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides. I get 6y equals 18. Nope, just kidding. That 15 was negative. Negative 12. Then I want to divide both sides by 6. I get y equals negative 2. So I'm going to plug into my top equation. I have x equals negative 3 times negative 2 plus 1. Negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 equals 7. So my answer here is negative 2 comma 7. Number 9, this one's already solved for y, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I have 15x minus 3, and then instead of y, I'm going to have 5x minus 7. This one should equal 21. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. I have 15x. Negative 3 times 5x is negative 15x. Negative 3 times negative 7 is positive 21. And this should equal 21. Negative 15 and 15 cancel out. So I get 21 equals 21. This is true. So I have infinitely many solutions. Number 10, they're both y equals, so I'm going to plug in for the other y. I have negative x minus 1 equals negative 5x minus 17. I want to get all of my terms on the same side, so I'm going to add 5x to both sides. Which gives me 4x minus 1 equals negative 17. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I have 4x equals negative 16. Then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 4. This gets me x equals negative 4. And I want to go ahead and plug into one of my equations. I'm going to pick my top one. So I have y equals negative 4 minus 1. Double negative is going to turn that into a positive 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So then I have negative 4, comma 3. On the back side, this one is using elimination, so I want to cancel out my letters and then solve from there. My first equation, I don't have anything that has the same number out front, but I could see if I multiply this x by 2, it'll have opposite signs. So I'm going to multiply by 2. That's going to give me negative 2x minus 8y equals negative 6. And then I'm just going to copy this top equation back down. So I have 2x plus 8y equals 6. I want to add straight down. My x's cancel out, my y's cancel out, so I'm going to write 0. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. This one is infinitely many solutions. Next one, my x's are already opposite signs, same coefficient, so I'm going to just add down. The x's cancel out. 8 plus 2 is 10. Negative 20 plus negative 30 is negative 10. Then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 10. This is going to give me y equals negative 1. I can pick which equation I'm going to plug into. I'm just going to pick the top. So I have 4x plus 8 times negative 1 equals 20. 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I get 4x equals 28. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 4. This gets me x equals 7. So my answer here is 7, negative 1. Next one, my x's have the same coefficient, opposite sign, so I'm going to add down. The x's cancel out. The y's cancel out. That gives me 0. 10 minus 20 is negative 10. That is not true, so I write no solution. Number 14, my y's are already opposite signs, so I can go ahead and add down. 8 plus 3 is 11. Y's cancel out. Negative 16 plus 5 is negative 11. I'm going to divide both sides by 11. I get x equals negative 1. Then I'm going to plug in. I'm going to pick my top equation. I have 8 times negative 1 plus y equals negative 16. It's going to give me negative 8 plus y equals negative 16. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Gives me y equals negative 8. So my answer here is negative 1, negative 8. 15, my x's have the same coefficient, opposite sign, so I'm going to add down. The x's cancel out. The y's are going to give me negative 3y, and then 9 minus 24 is negative 15. I want to divide both sides by negative 3. This is going to give me y equals 5. I'm going to plug into my top equation. 9 times 5 is 45. We'll subtract 45 on both sides. Negative 4x equals negative 36. Divide both sides by negative 4. I get x equals 9. So my answer here is 9, 5. On my final question, they're already opposite signs, same coefficient for x, so those are going to cancel out. 5y plus 4y equals 9y. 1 minus 10 is negative 9. And I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 9. I get y equals negative 1. I'm going to plug into my bottom equation because I want to deal with a positive x value. So I have 6x plus 4 times negative 1 equals negative 10. It's going to give me 6x minus 4 equals negative 10. Add 4 to both sides. I get 6x equals negative 6. Divide both sides by 6. X equals negative 1. So my answer here is negative 1, negative 1. Number 17 through 19, I can solve using any method of my choice. On 17, I'm going to use substitution because the y is already alone. So I'm going to plug into this. I have negative 3x plus 6. And then instead of that y, I'm going to do 5x minus 2. And then equals negative 12. I want to go ahead and distribute. I have negative 3x plus 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Equals negative 12. Negative 3x plus 30x gives me 27x. And minus 12 equals negative 12. Add 12 to both sides. 27x equals 0. Then I want to divide both sides by 27. I get x equals 0. I'm going to plug into my top equation. I have y equals 5 times 0 minus 2. 5 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So my answer here is 0, negative 2. My next one, my y's have opposite signs, same coefficient, so I'm going to use elimination. My x's are going to give me 3x. My y's cancel out. 11 plus 19 is 30. I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 3. This is going to give me x equals 10. Then I can plug into either equation. I'm going to do top. So I have 10 minus y equals 11. I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides. I have negative y equals 1. Be careful, I notice a lot of people when they get to the point that they get negative y, they forget to divide out a negative 1 to make that y positive. So this is going to give me y equals negative 1. My answer here is 10, negative 1. On the last one that I can use my method of my choice, I'm going to use graphing. So I'm going to grab graphing paper. I'll be right back. I am going to draw my grid on here. On the test, you'll have a graph you can use if you would like. So, for this one, my top equation is y equals negative 1/2 minus 1. So I'm going to go down 1. And my slope was negative 1/2. So I'm going to go down 1 over 2 from that point. Then the next one is 1/4 x minus 4. So I'm going to go down 4 from my axis. And then my slope is 1/4, so I go up 1 over 4. Oops, I messed up. My lines should actually be crossing right here at this point. I have my slope, which is down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. I just moved the ruler when I was graphing both of those. So that is 4, negative 3. Okay, my last question says a charity is considering the possibility of having a benefit night at 2 different restaurants. The owner of the local Italian restaurant has offered to donate $681 and $3 per guest. So I'm going to do 3x plus 681 because they're going to donate that 681 even if no one shows up to their restaurant. The owner of the Mexican restaurant said they will contribute $4.95. So theirs is going to be y equals something plus $4.95. And they're going to donate $5 per guest, so 5x. How many guests would make the profit at both restaurants the same? So since I have y alone, I'm going to plug this in for y in my other equation. So I'm going to have 3x plus 681, and then this is going to equal 5x plus 495. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this. I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. That gives me 681 equals 2x. Plus 495. Then I want to subtract 495 on both sides. 681 minus 495 is 681. 186. Then I want to divide by 2. This gets me 93. So x was the number of guests, and y is the amount they're donating. This question is just asking how many guests. So 93 guests is my answer.